Busan. BusanKevin. Kevin in Japan.
It's BusanKevin again, coming to you on a rather windy day, so if it's kind of windy, sorry about that, but this isn't the kind of camera I can put like a windsock on or something like that. So, a lot of people seem to have enjoyed my story about Sam the super teacher, so I'm going to tell you another one, because I have a lot about this guy. Okay, now, Sam the super teacher. When I was living in Korea, during my second year in Korea, one night, myself and Sam and a friend of mine decided to go into Seoul to have a night out on the town. So we were going to a club district called Hongdae, which is a really popular place with foreigners and Korean people to go to hang out. There's a lot of clubs and cool bars and things. So we went to Hongdae. We took the train there, and then I took a taxi, and we got there, and we partied. We had a good time, and that was all. Well, it was time to go back home, and at that point, the taxis the trains were finished for the night. But the taxis were going 24 hours as taxis do. So the three of us hopped into a taxi to head home. Now, as you probably heard from my first story about Sam was a big, fast, strong guy. Now, he was also a really messy drunk, and his behavior was very erratic and unpredictable when he was drinking. And often, he'd always find himself in trouble, and often get anyone with him in trouble as well. So, we were in a taxi, and the night was pretty uneventful, actually. So we're in a taxi on the way home, and we're actually probably about 2 blocks away from my apartment, and he lived in an apartment just a few blocks past me. So we get to, like I said, a few blocks away from my place, and we stop at an intersection at a red light, and what happens? Well, Sam opens the door to the taxi and just bolts. He just runs off into the night. And my other friend looked at me and he said, "Kevin, what are we going to do? Are we going to try to get him?" And I said, "No, of course we're not going to get him. The idiot wants to go running, he can. We'll just get taxi money from him tomorrow or the next day." And anyway, the guy was way faster than me, so I didn't have a chance of catching him. And even if I did catch him, what were we going to do? So off he went. No problem, get the taxi home, go home, get into my house, drink some water, go to bed. That's it. Okay? Pretty uneventful. Here comes the wind. So, there we go. Now, the next morning, I think around 8:30 in the morning, my doorbell rings. And it rings, and I'm laying in bed figuring, okay, whoever this is, a Jehovah's Witness or something, because they do have those in Korea. They're everywhere, guys. Or a Mormon, because they're everywhere too. They'll just go away. But the ringing was persistent. It wouldn't stop. So finally I get out of bed. I go up to the door and I look out the door. And there's a large group of men, Korean men, outside of my apartment door. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? And they're wearing uniforms. So I quickly grab a shirt and put on a shirt. And I open the door, and I look outside, and there are 2 police officers and 2 security guards, 2 building security guards and 2 police officers standing outside my door. And they move out of the way, and they kind of show me what's lying on the floor. Lying on the floor is Sam, passed out, unconscious, laying in front of my apartment. And they have like a little pillow with his head on it, and they have a bottle of water and a little Dixie cup, and they're trying to feed him water. And the policeman looked at me, and he kind of pointed towards Sam, and he said, "Chingu?" Now, Chingu is Korean for friend. And I'm mortified at that point. I look at the police officer, I lower my head, and I kind of bow, and I look at him and I say, "미안합니다," which means sorry. It means I'm really sorry, and I apologize. And I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, 친구, 많이 바보." I said, "He's very stupid, very, very stupid. I'm so sorry." And they asked me if they could bring him inside to my apartment. And the police officers dragged this guy into my apartment, and they just kind of throw him on the living room floor, where he remained. And then the building security guard looks at me and he's like, not tomodachi, that's friend in Japanese, chingu. And then he motioned. He said, he went, psst. I was like, what? He was like, hallway, here in the hallway. Psst. He made this motion towards his crotch. And I realized, oh God, no. Sam had somehow stumbled in my apartment building in the middle of the night because he decided to come to my place instead of go to his house a couple of blocks away. And he pissed all over the hallway, the main hallway outside of my apartment. Just hauled down his pants, and the security guard showed me where it was. So, wow. And I mean, to think, this guy, classic guy, is a teacher, frightening. Yeah, I don't know. There aren't a lot of people like that in Korea or in other places, but when you do meet one, you don't forget. So there's another tale of Sam, the super teacher. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope the wind wasn't so bad. See you later. BusanKevin.
BusanKevin, Kevin in Japan. BusanKevin, Kevin in Japan.